Am I crazy for liking Thief over Narset? I think so, yeah. I think Narset is one of the best cards in the deck. It also allows you to play like a couple one-offs, and with the minus ability, like looking at 4 cards every turn, like you're really good at finding, you know, the one-offs like the Elder Spell or whatever in your deck. Plus, it's good after sideboard at finding the Wrath and stuff.
In this video.
Ooh, yes, look at that. Whoa, what did I get myself into? Play first, yes. Keep. Yeah, I think Narset is just great in standard right now. It also just like screws your opponent a lot of the time, because like Little Teferi doesn't draw an extra card, Big Teferi doesn't draw an extra card. They can't play like Chardecours, basically doesn't do anything. So it's gonna be awkward against White Weenie. The only card I can think of that we can get with it is Loxodon, but by the time they play Loxodon, they're gonna get a lot of value from it. Oh, Tribunal. Yeah, you're right. Tribunal is a very relevant one. Tribunal is a very relevant one. I did forget about that. Thought Erasure. Yeah, I guess I'm playing that rather than the second hero here, because I do need to take their Marshall or Loxodon here. Yeah. Really like Menguchi adding just 1 Surge. Yeah, I think if you cut heroes, you can play more Surge, but if you have 4 heroes in the deck, I think just like 1 Surge is okay. No attack. Yeah, I mean, Surge is being underplayed because there's a lot of ways to get card advantage. You don't need to like wait a couple turns to flip Surge. Like Surge was great in the old Esper control deck, because like you just played on turn 2 and then you just started playing all the Absorbs and Gaia's Wrath and whatever. And then like eventually you flip it and you win the game with it. But now you just, all the cards that you play on turn 3 or 4 gain you card advantage. Like you play turn 3 Teferi or turn 3 Narset or whatever, and you get card advantage that way. So you don't really need the Surge, but it's still pretty good in some situations. Okay, so let's start with hero, and when they attack, we're gonna make some tokens. Gain counter range unless, yeah, if your opponent has Narset, it's really hard to like get cards from Teferi or Big Teferi if they have Narset if you don't have hero. So I do like hero for that purpose. Yeah, this card is like single-handedly responsible for Reclamation not being played, for Absorb not being played. Like those cards are just gone. I'm gonna get so much value out of my stuff. I guess I'm bouncing Esper because they can draw history and that gives them 2. Plus this is saving Esper. Yeah, I'm bouncing this for sure. If they get enough permanence for this guy to be 3/3, I don't really care about that. I can just block. But if this gets to attack next turn, they can kill my Teferi because I have nothing with flying. What do you think of Spell Pierce? Spell Pierce is in a weird place. Like all the counter spells are in a weird place. It's a really weird dynamic now where like Little Teferi makes you want to play Spell Pierce because you want to counter the Teferi with it, but then if you don't get to snipe Teferi in the first couple of turns, then it just becomes a dead card. So like I only like Spell Pierce in decks where you also have like ways to cycle. Like if you're playing Chardecours, if you're playing Casmina, if you're playing cards like that, then then Spell Pierce makes sense. If you don't, then I would advise to not do that. I get to bounce this and make a 3/3, but then they kill the hero again. Am I bouncing the Baffling End? I kind of want the 3/3. I mean, my Teferi is gonna die, but I don't really care about that. It's gonna die eventually anyway. It's gonna let me trade my hero for a 3/3. That actually is not a... That is actually not something I want to do. Yeah, I'll just bounce this again. I do like attacking. Actually, now it probably wasn't all that smart to attack, because now they're gonna be able to grow the Snubhorn to 3/3. But I actually want them to attack with it, because now I just want to raise them. So I'm gonna be happy with the Snubhorn. Yeah, that attack was good. I'm gonna be happy with the Snubhorn attacks. It seems like Esper won a lot this weekend. Like, everyone I saw talking about their MCQ like winning experience was like, hey, I played Esper. Like one of my friends who hasn't played Magic in a while played Esper. He qualified. Like the Polish guy went 20-0 in games to qualify with Esper, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, the top 8 of the GP had like 7 different decks, right? Which is pretty cool. I think Standard is in a really good place. I think it's kind of like still in a process of like finding out exactly, you know, how to build decks and everything, but there's so many different decks you can play. You can play Mono Red, you can play Mono White, you can play Gruul, you can play Gruul Aggro, you can play Gruul Planeswalkers. Even decks like Mono White you can build like, you know, with the Blue Splash or just straight up Mono White. You can play 4-color Dreadhorde, you can play Esper Hero, Esper Control, Esper Planeswalkers. You can play like the good old Sultai, you can play Nexus. There's just like 17 different decks you can play, and you can top 8 a GP with or whatever. Yeah, this is bad. Can I draw like an on-land or something? That'd be kind of cool. Wow, they just stack with everybody? Can I 4/8? Is there a way for me? No, I have to block. What are these protecting? Snubhorn? Nothing. I'm gonna need to draw a spell here. This is pretty bad actually. Oh yes, look at that. Oh yes. Okay, so 2 Cry, no Dreadhorde, no Elder Spell. Board out some of the Planeswalkers. I think the Fairy's bad against them. Like Lara. And if we want to bring in Kaya's Wrath, we have to board out D-Spark and Search, I guess. Could also board out Thought Erasure. Maybe Thought Erasure is not good in this matchup. I do want Kaz down. Let's try this. Yeah, it is better to draw with Big Teferi first and then use Narset. Hero was good in this game. I'll say that. I guess I'll keep, because I have 5 Wrath effects in my deck, so this is very likely to be enough to go like turn 2 removal, turn 3 Narset, and try to find that. We boarded 1 Teferi out because like you don't want to get, you know, flooded with 5 drops, and now we got punished with I don't aggressively mulligan for Teferi, no. Ixalan Binding doesn't seem great because you're gonna use 4 mana to answer something that costs 1 or 2 mana. So that doesn't seem like a good use of mana for you. I don't want to use Kaz down on this, I'll just play a hero. You don't want to use a 4 mana card to answer their 1 drop or their 2 drop. Like you're trading down on mana so much. I could even block here. I don't think it would be completely outrageous to block. Yeah, I'm actually gonna block. I don't have any spells that I can play and make 1/1s, Plus, if my opponent doesn't have a creature, I'm just gonna play Narset. Okay, well, now we got punished. I do have 5 Wrath effects in the deck though. So like if I'm keeping my opponent from casting Loxodon or whatever, then that's not a bad spot to be in. I'll use this. If I had like the fairy in my hand, that would have been different. But with the hand that I had, I think this was fine. Yeah, now I'm gonna be looking for Wrath. There it is. But hey, if I saved hero, I could have had a token extra with the Wrath. Yeah, I don't really want to show them that I have it. Oh, this is actually a pretty big deal. I have to Wrath now, because otherwise I'm getting beat down by this. Yeah, this is a pretty big deal. Against this, I need a hero. So I can use both removal spells on this, and the next turn I can use the fairy to tuck that. Should I start by playing Thought Erasure? No, just kill that. Oh, this is it. This is legendary. So it automatically targeted the other guy. Yeah. So okay, now I have to do that. But then I wanted to kill the 2/3 and then figure out if I'm gonna kill the other guy as well. Because now if my opponent plays a Benelish Marshal, I can't. Yeah. I wanted to not have my spells countered. Whoa, what did I get myself into? I can bounce the Gideon back to their hand. I can Thought Erasure. I'm wondering if I want to do this in their upkeep, because my opponent can just pay 6 and exile my Teferi. I don't want that to happen. And this becomes a 4/4 in their upkeep. That's why I have the upkeep stop. I'm just gonna bounce it now, so they can't use the -6 thing. This way, if they only have a bunch of 3s, then they can only play one of the 3 drops, and I can play Teferi, and all of a sudden I have 2 Planeswalkers, and my opponent doesn't have anything. No 1-drop, no 1-drop. Oh, damn it. That's bad, because now they can kill the Teferi, which is pretty important. Oath of Gaia. Still need to tuck the Gideon, I think. I mean, I guess I could Oath, kill this, Thought Erasure, take the Benelish Marshal. Because like having the Oath in play also means that I'm gonna be able to gain a bunch of life. This doesn't gain me life though, because they can just sack the Bodyguard. I mean, it's like this is another card they can play. That's the problem with that. Tuck and Ode Marshal. I can get rid of Marshal with Thought Erasure. I didn't let them draw. Oh my god, no. Well, too late. I guess I'll keep a Bellhound. Yeah, I'm too used to Magic Online, just letting you click on the right face and not like here you have to click on upkeep and then click OK and then let them draw and then do it because there's no stop for draw step. So if this is not a 1-drop, we're good. And now they have no cards for me to Bellhound. And Gideon has too much loyalty. I still have to use the Teferi, I think. No, that. If I plus the Teferi, it's just gonna die. That means I'll get an extra card, but what am I trying to find? Even if I find like Lyra that gets either tapped or bounced, so it doesn't get me anywhere. I have to get rid of their Gideon. Hope that they don't draw another creature. I played Teferi, and now I'm gonna plus Teferi, and like now I'm gonna be ahead. If they can't kill this Teferi this turn, then that's for me. That's good for me. That was a smart use of Teferi. Now they can get an extra creature, and they can flip landing if they want to. So I think now I play Bellhound rather than Teferi, because that means they lose this. Actually, should I still play Teferi? This uses my mana better. Would they get to flip this? I'll play Bellhound. I don't know if this is right. This is another 3-drop, then that's good for me. Oh, looks at him. Yeah, that was decent. What makes you prefer Bellhound over Elite Guard Mage? I think it's the 4 toughness. I think 4 toughness is really important. Plus, Elite Guard Mage, I don't like that. I think it's a fine card in draft, but I don't think it's a card for constructed. This can block like the Nissa lands or whatever. It's good against mono red because the 4 toughness rather than 3 is also super relevant because they have a bunch of cards like Lightning Strike and Where's This Lightning. Hero is pretty good here. I can go Hero Oath, kill this, or kill Teferi, both of which is pretty good. Am I killing Tapper or am I killing Teferi? I guess I'm killing the... I think I should kill the Tapper. Oh yeah, we could have killed Gideon. Yeah, you're right. I should have attacked Gideon. Yep. You're definitely right. I think killing Tapper is still better. Because now I have bigger creatures than my opponent. This is gonna turn off in my turn, so I can actually just attack my opponent's planeswalkers or whatever. I think it's a close game. I think now being at 20 life is a little too much with two Teferis in hand. But if my opponent draws like 2 running histories or something, then I can still definitely lose. So they're trying to they want to flip the surge, the landing. That's reasonable. So they're gonna swing with everything. I'm gonna trade for the 1/1, I believe. Actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna block. I guess. So now again, the problem is if I play Teferi, then they can kill it. They can just double attack it and kill it. I think I should still do that. Because otherwise the Gideon can just minus itself. And I have like so much more value in my hand still. If I +1 Teferi, my opponent just makes a 1/1 and everything attacks Teferi. So Teferi dies anyway, unless I chump Gideon. And then my opponent, then like I lose the 3/4. Yeah, not to mention they can also just draw removal for it. Plus my opponent's Gideon is getting a bunch of loyalty. It's not great that Teferi's dying, but I think this is okay. We have so many Wrath effects in our deck still. The Gideon is super annoying though, I'll say that. This is a good way to get rid of it. Or to get rid of something that's not a planeswalker. Just bounce it back to their hand and use Valhound. I think the line now is Hero, Teferi, bounce token, draw a card. I guess I could have bounced Oath. Yeah, that was probably better than bouncing the 1/1. Yeah, bounce Oath was better. Because that lets me make another token next turn. Plus I just get to shoot the Teferi. Yeah, bouncing Oath was better. Although, like that, I would have lost my Teferi if I did that. I'm not that sure if that was better then. Am I just playing Liliana now? Like, what is my opponent going to do if I play Liliana? The problem with Liliana is I guess my opponent just trades it for Gideon. So maybe the right play here is... No. Yeah, I could Teferi and tuck their own Gideon. They play another one that has 5 loyalty. Playing Liliana is bad, I think. If I play Liliana, my opponent just minuses Gideon and plays another one. So that doesn't really get me anywhere. Yeah, I'm gonna start with this. I'll get rid of this one. I don't think they're gonna want to trade this for anything from my board. Next turn I'm gonna use Teferi to minus on that. And make them chum block. This is a pretty cool game. This is like one of the longest games I've played in this format. How much time do we have? At 13 minutes, my opponent has 20? Guess I've been using a lot of time. Oh, nice. I think I'm double attacking Teferi. But then Might the Fairy dies. So I guess I'm just not attacking at all. Alright, they just succeeded. Yeah, that was a pretty cool game. Yeah, I think White Weenie is bad right now.